You know, pricing a property is one of my favorite topics because it's more of an art form than a science. People say, well, it's pretty easy. You do what an appraiser would do. Well, appraisals are not that accurate after a period of time because they're historical in nature. And the other thing that an appraisal doesn't do, it doesn't take into consideration supply and demand. The real estate industry knows the market's changing before it's reported in the news. So your realtor should know what's going on. As far as pricing, there's two areas that you look at. One are called comparables or comparable properties. These are properties that are similar to yours, but there are comparables that are sold and there are comparables that are still on the market. The misnomer on the ones on the market is, in many areas we refer to them as active. If anything, I would refer to those as inactive because they're not sold yet. So I would call those the unsold properties. So why do we look at those two? Because that's all we have. So we look at the ones that have sold already and we say, well, they sold for that, I should sell for this. Not necessarily. And if a buyer says, well, I'm only going to pay this because the one like it sold for that, my answer to a buyer is, well, go buy that. Well, you can't go buy that. So there's no credibility in hanging your hat on that. It's going to be an approximate reference for you. The other comparison that people do is with the unsolds, or the, if you want to call them, active properties. But those are not sold yet, so they're out there trying to attract buyers. Although I think it's important that you know what the competition is. It's so important that you may say to your realtor, would you be willing to maybe take me through some of these properties that are similar to mine that are for sale right now, so I can figure out if we're really, in the game here, or that, we're pricing ourselves out of the market. And, we do previews all the time. We don't have to have a viable customer with us. Or at the very least, the agent should walk through those properties and see what they're like. I know I do when I list a property. So know what the competition is. Also do a search of the marketplace and find out what is the month's supply. The month's supply is how we calculate if we have a buyer's or a seller's market. So for example, if there are 100 houses for sale, 10 sell every month, 10 into 100 is 10, there's a 10-month supply. What's a good market? Well, a balanced market is 6 to 7 months supply. Now, with a lot of the shortages that we've run into, we've seen markets where it's only a month or two supply. And in past years, when things were a little different, when it was a buyer's market, I've seen as long as 2 years supply. So find out from your agent how many months supply for your property in your price range, right down to your zip code, because we can do that. And the agent should be able to generate that for you. Hope that helps out a little bit on pricing.